think about a long time after. There are some out there that you think about. Unfortunately, I don't know that we're going to get any of those tonight, but there are some pretty good ones, and that'll lead us into The Big Tall Wish, which is my episode, and this one actually gets a 6.8 on IMDb, which is lower than fucking Mr. Dingle The Strong, and I find that silly. The Hunt got 8.1 on IMDb. That is a high motherfucker. Don't get me wrong, it's good, but 8.1, I don't know. So, all right, so The Big Tall Wish, it aired April 8th, 1960. So it aired around WrestleMania before it existed, Vic. About when WrestleMania airs every year. April 8th or so. Vic just cashes out while he's on the show. Anyway, this was a season 1, episode 27 episode. Let's see, it was written by Rod Serling, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see. Where the fuck are the specs on this thing? I had it. Come on. Okay, written by Rod Serling, directed by Ron Winston. And, of course, you get Rod Serling's intro. And, you know, I have to say, Rod Serling's intro is pretty cool. He's like, in this corner of the universe, a prize fighter named Bully Jackson, 183 pounds and an hour and a half away from a comeback at St. Nick's Arena, Mr. Bully Jackson, who, by the standards of his profession, is an aging, over-the-hill relic of what was, and who now sees a reflection of a man who has left too many pieces of his youth in too many stadiums for too many years before too many screaming people. Mr. Bully Jackson, who might do well to look for some gentle magic in the hard surface glass that stares back at him. Now, little-known fact, Rod Serling actually boxed in the military. He was 17-0 until somebody broke his nose in 2 places, and he said, fuck this, I'm not doing this anymore. So... yeah, Rod Serling, he was a great boxer apparently in the military, and then finally took that big L, and he was like, yep, I'm done. He's kind of like Ronda Rousey, except he didn't have 2 of those losses. He took the 1, and he was done with it. So, like I said, Bully Jackson, he's this professional boxer. He's looking in the mirror at all these scars and stuff. Blake, what do you think of this makeup for 1960?
I thought it was decent makeup. It was believable to me. I thought it was good. Good makeup. You could tell that it was. You could tell that it was a younger guy, I think, but you couldn't tell exactly how. You couldn't tell exactly how young because the makeup job really was good.
What was really interesting to me was that they kept calling him old the whole episode, and he didn't look old to me at all. But I realized that they're saying in the context of like an old boxer. I get it, but he just didn't look old.
Well, right, like in football, they consider you old at like 37, 38, or 40 in football, don't they? You still play it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So I'm guessing it was the same sort of idea with that.
And when he starts talking about his previous exploits in boxing, you don't get the impression that he was ever very good. You know what I mean? Like he feels like just like I don't know. I don't even know who to compare him to, but like he was a guy who didn't win much, because he has all these war wounds from boxing, and he just his attitude towards life seems very, I don't know, pessimistic, doesn't it?
Yeah, for sure.
And you got this kid, Henry, who the first time I watched it, I didn't know who this kid was. Like, I didn't know if his stepson or what the deal was. And this, again, I've watched it a long time ago, so that's not a good comparison to how I feel about it now when I watched it. Obviously, what I'm trying to figure out, was he banging that chick, the black chick, or was, because maybe he's trying to get close to Henry to get a little bit of that pussy.
Jesus Christ, Travis, I don't know.
Well, what? I need answers.
I don't know.
This is why we're on the show.
I knew it. I knew you were going to fucking say something about it. I just fucking knew it deep down in my bones. Like, he's going to say something about boning this chick. He's going to say something about it. I just
if you want to get to the mom, you got to get through the kids. That's how you do it.
You didn't disappoint. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
What's interesting about Henry's acting, the kid who plays Henry, is it was kind of over the top at first, but then as he settled into the role, it got better and better and more believable. So this kid tells him he's going to give him the big tall wish that nobody's going to hurt him. He doesn't have nothing to worry about. And he's going to win this fight. That's basically what he's telling him. And of course, Bully Jackson's like, whatever the fuck. I've had my ass beat so many times. I don't really, I don't take the word of a kid seriously. And so he goes out, and you can tell that he's getting his ass beat. But before that happens, he actually gets into this altercation with the sleazy boxing manager. And the whole thing is really convoluted and confusing. But ultimately, I think the impression that we're supposed to get is that the guy has asked him to throw the fight. And he tries to punch the guy, and he misses in a terrible fucking directed scene because the way this looked was bad. He throws a punch, dude moves, and he hits the fucking wall and breaks his hand, or at least that's what we're led to believe. So then we see him, on boxing that's in a televised match, and he's just getting the shit beat out of him, and then he's down. And Henry's up against the screen, and if you watch this scene pretty closely where Henry's up against the screen and he's pleading, Bully, please, like, there's something about it that's, like, creepy. And I don't mean in a creepy, like, in a weird sort of way. It's the way his face is lit up with the screen, and just, it's not like a little kid going, please, Santa, please bring me in. It's like a begging for him to get up, you know what I mean? And begging. There's something, I don't know, strong about it. Anyway, and then all of a sudden it's like we do a rewind, and Bully Jackson's up on his feet, and he's won the fight. So nobody knows what the hell's going on. Everybody assumes, well, Bully just won. And he's talking to his trainer, and the guy's like, yo, you won it start to finish. You never got knocked down, and Bully's confused as shit. So he gets home, and he talks to Henry about the big tall wish, and Henry's telling him, that you got to believe, Bully. And we have basically a kind of a heated conversation between Bully and Henry, where Bully's telling him, there's no such thing as magic, and it's just I thought a convincing scene between both of them, and like touching without being over the top. And basically what ends up happening here is that because Bully doesn't believe, he gets knocked the fuck out again. And, he walks home defeated, and you see everybody in the neighborhood who was telling him how great of a job he did. They're telling him, like, why didn't you use your right? Which his right hand's fucking broken. And, he talks to Henry, and he tells him, it's like he told Henry, maybe it's not so much that you're too old to believe in magic, it's just that I'm too old to believe in it. It's kind of a weird downer ending, but at the same time, it feels, I don't know, kind of convincing in a way. Like, you get the impression at the end of it, Henry's like is going to live his life as pessimistic as Bully has been. Maybe you guys got something different from this, but that's kind of how it ends. The magic's gone because neither one of them believe in it anymore. And interesting episode as far as that goes, because it's not, I don't see this type of episode. There are some other episodes, obviously, that involve magic and types of things like that, but usually they don't go this direction. So it went in a weird direction for me, but, that's what made it unique. And I thought the boxing scenes were cool. Bully, Jesus Christ, people shooting off fireworks already. Bully looked like he hadn't trained in a year because this dude had fucking man boobs and stuff. But, other than those small nitpicks, like, he was good. He was good at it. They were all the acting in this episode of and I'll say this, the black characters were really good. For 1960, when these people weren't getting a chance to put on these performances, it was really impressive. So, anyway, there's that. And I'll let Vic jump in first. Vic, tell me about the big tall wish and what you thought about it.
First of all, you can't call that's
I know.
Horrible.
I meant these specific actors and actress. I knew you were going to jump on that. Good job.
I'm glad I didn't disappoint, sir. Well,
yep.
I like this episode better than the other two, probably because anything sports related automatically was better than the other garbage we watched.
Yeah.
But I've kind of went back and forth with my rating. I watched it one time. last night, obviously. And it's probably the only time I've ever seen it in my entire life. I was doing good, man. The main cast, I've enjoyed the overall episode for the most part. And it's I thought an episode of Twilight Zone ever. So, my neighborhood. But anyway, I give it a 2.5 out of 4.
Fair enough. I think this is more in line with most Twilight Zone episodes than the other two we talked. No, maybe somewhere in between this and The Hunt is, I think, closer to most Twilight Zone episodes. The Mr. Dingle the Strong is more like the ones that they fucked up and just like we just have to get an episode out before the week's over. Like Rod Serling died at the age of 50 because he fucking worked so hard, and I think episodes like Mr. Dingle the Strong came because of that. But Blake, what do you think of this episode? Big Tall Wish.
It was okay. I mean, it had this weird downer ending. It feels like all three of the ones we watched, specifically this one and The Hunt, were really downer endings on those. And
did you think The Hunt was a downer ending though? Because he was going to heaven, and so was his dog, and
he was going to heaven.
Even said his wife was going to go too, though.
Right, but we don't know how far after.
It felt, well, he said she'll be right along, so you get the impression that it wasn't that long after. Plus, I don't know, with the music and everything, it felt like an upbeat ending. This one,
well, it was more upbeat than this one, but still, the idea of being separated from your partner, even for just a short amount of time,
right,
in a situation like that is a little depressing to me. But yeah, I don't know, and there's something weird. We got episodes where basically there was no hint of any kind of normal Twilight Zone monsterish kind of thing. Like, there were aliens, Martians in the one episode, Mr. Dingle the Strong, but there really wasn't.
There was no big twist either in any of these.
Yeah, there was no real big twist either, and I'm used to that, you know.
Yep. I mean, that's what Twilight Zone's known for.
It was okay. I probably wouldn't watch these 3 episodes over again, you know, probably. But.
So what's your rating?
My rating on this is probably I probably have to say it's probably about 2.5 out of 4, 2.5 Freddy calls. It felt like it was just, I don't know. It would have been great if there would have been more exploration into him winning, you know, and like getting some money and picking up things and then impressing that chick downstairs that you said he was probably banging. You know,
he probably was, or at least he was trying to.
Yeah, and all that shit, but we didn't get that much. You know, it was 24 minutes, for Christ's sake. It wasn't a whole hell of a lot you could really do. But yeah, it just kind of felt like, I don't know, just ended, you know, and kind of a downer ending and all that. And I don't think it was as good as the Hunt. I mean, it was good, but I don't think it was as good as the Hunt. So. Really?
See, I actually like this one. I like it the same as The Hunt, to be honest with you. I go 3 machetes out of 4 on both of those. They're just different episodes. This one isn't. I used to not like this one that much, but over time I've grown to like it more. The Hunt I would probably watch more frequently just because it's more upbeat. This one's kind of like reality smacking you in the face type of thing. You know what I mean? Like, it's a healthy dose of reality is what this episode is. I mean, it is fucking realism with your face mashed into it. You know, this guy is an aging boxer, and this could happen to any of us in any profession. And, you know, he's just struggling for that one last chance. And ultimately, I think this episode's carried by the acting. I've already talked about that. But I thought the kid, and I thought Boley, and I thought the chick, they were all really convincing. And that, to me, is what made the episode. So I dug it. I thought it was fun, but not fun like The Hunt. More fun like... damn, this is some good acting. I don't know how to describe it any other way. Most times in the Twilight Zone, I don't really notice how good the acting is. There's a couple episodes that I really notice, but this is one where I just thought it was really good. But I know I've said that repeatedly. So I think 6.8 is a little low on this episode. I think 8.1 is high on The Hunt, and I think 6.9 is way too fucking high for Mr. Dingle the Strong. I don't understand the appeal of that one at all. But this one I thought was good. Again, 3 out of 4, just a different type of episode. I don't know if it's on the I don't think it's on the marathon tomorrow.